I just finished reading an arc of one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I'm talking about Villain Edit by Rosie Danan. Rosie Danan is one of my favorite romance authors of all time. She wrote last year's fan service as well as The Roommate, and so I was totally excited to read Villain Edit, especially since it has vampires. Villain Edit is about a down on her luck former reality TV producer who was recently fired from her job, and she's house sitting for her grandmother in a sleepy suburban Southern California community. And her grandmother has a tenant who's living in the garage, and he's a vampire. This is a world in which vampires are real, although in modern times they live mostly at their own compound in Antarctica. The vampire prince is in the real world with humans to prove that he can resist the bloodthirst and won't become some sort of monster who attacks humans for their blood. Meanwhile, she, the female main character, thinks he would be the perfect candidate for a season of her former reality show, and that bringing him in will bring her back in the loop at her former workplace. The dynamic between Harper, the female main character, and her boss, who is an executive producer at the dating reality show she worked on, very much give the energy of the Lifetime TV series Unreal, if you're familiar with it. They're both very sort of cutthroat characters. At least Harper sees herself that way, but I think she's much softer, although she is great at charming people and manipulating contestants to do what she needs them to do. Gabriel, the male main character, is sort of on the opposite spectrum. You would expect a vampire main character to be very grumpy, bad boy, but that is not who Gabriel is. He's definitely more of like kind of fuddy-duddy, a nerd, kind of starchy and reserved. His best friends are like old people in the community in which they live. What I love about Rosie Danan's books is that the main couples sort of always don't match your expectations. We have Gabriel, who's the softy vampire as the lead, and then more of an ambitious female character in Harper. And I think their dynamic is really great together. But what I particularly like is how that Rosie Danan's main characters are often can be portrayed by some as unlikable female main characters. We always want them to be sunshine and supportive of their partners and sort of the perfect avatar for ourselves. And instead, in a lot of her books, she writes characters who are complicated, who might be grumpy, who might have certain personalities that we would accept in male main characters, but might not as much in female main characters. And she makes us fall in love with these characters. Like Harper, even though, okay, she is a cunning reality TV producer, but she is a complex person, and it's okay to have those shades to yourself. The writing is superb, the humor is sharp. I think this is a perfect read, even if you don't typically read paranormal romance. The paranormal aspect is very light, although, yes, there is blood drinking, there is biting, it's spicy, but a lot of the story has more of a contemporary romance feel. But that's not to push away any paranormal romance fans. I think they'll enjoy this sort of cozy spin on it. In short, I give Villain Edit 4 stars, and I recommend you check it out when it comes out this December.